This is a North American gray squirrel. Gray squirrels live their whole lives within a 1-mile radius of their nest. This squirrel is my neighbor. This is my house. And that's me. We both live on King Street. King Street, one block south of Burlington's downtown, has a rich but often overlooked history. For hundreds of years, tradesworkers, artisans, families, students, and new Americans have called King Street their home. I'm one of those people. From the front door of my house to the door of my office at the Vermont Housing Finance Agency is approximately 611 feet. When the winter drags and gray day follows gray day, I start to feel like my world is smaller than that of my neighbor, the squirrel. Sometimes a single day can feel endless. Then suddenly, years have gone by. If you blur your focus, is there really any difference between today and yesterday? Yesterday and the one before that? I barely have time to dwell on it before I get to VHFA, which used to be Hagar Hardware, and before that was William Smith Carriage Manufacturer. The history is stacked on top of itself, like sedimentary rock. Walking the same path every day, my feet revealed the stories, seemingly only an inch below the surface. And here's what I found. First-hand accounts from the 1790s indicate that there were 3 houses in the village of Burlington, all located in the King Street area. The Gideon King House at 35 King Street was built between 1798 and 1820 and is among the oldest still standing buildings in the city. Today, it's a mixed-use office building. Last year, I got a massage in the basement. Over time, the village of Burlington grew into a city almost entirely because of the port and the workers who made it vibrant. When officially chartered as a city in 1865, the Burlington waterfront was the 3rd largest timber market in the world. The unpretentious workforce housing built in King Street during this time was largely still present, often decorated with intricate woodworking done by craftspeople in their downtime. King Street was originally bordered by 2 bodies of water. Unlike Main Street and Maple Streets, King Street stops before it reaches the hill section of the city. As this map from 1853 shows, King Street was originally ended by the Burlington Ravine. The ravine, a natural wetland with steep embankments, was a barrier to the city's continued growth for its first 100 years. To create the city we know today, the ravine was filled in the late 1880s, allowing for the immediate development to the south and up the hill. To quote the September 7, 1886 edition of the Burlington Clipper regarding the process, "The work of filling up the Main Street ravine with old crockery, tomato cans, dead cats, and brush is going triumphantly on. This combination will make a very solid and rich foundation." The enclosure of the ravine would become the backbone of the first ever sewer in the city, which ultimately took all of the city's waste and promptly dumped it straight into the lake. Nonetheless, the ravine persists, undeterred by cracked crockery or cat carcasses. Situated on the edge of the ravine is another hidden reminder of Burlington's past, the Hood Plant. From 1925 to 1990, the building was a milk processing plant, first operated by Burlington Cooperative Milk Products, then later by H.P. Hood Inc. The building was eventually redeveloped as a mix of housing and office space in 1996. And while we can't taste that sweet, sweet local Burlington cream anymore, we still taste its unspoiled legacy. The Hood Plant was still pasteurizing in 1980 when 2 friends opened their first ice cream packaging factory at a nearby bobbin mill on Champlain Street and would open their first scoop shop on St. Paul Street. 5 years later, a local band living at the bottom of the ravine would write a song about their local milk factory, featuring the company's mascot as well as the plant's friendly parking lot attendant. Between 1984 and 1989, they played 45 shows just on the other side of the ravine at Nectar's, including the first performance of Harry Hood in 1985. Between 1989 and 1991, they played 53 shows at another Burlington venue known as The Front, the now forgotten club once located at the current site of Ski Rack. Over the next 25 years, they would go on to play 87 shows at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Thank you, Mr. Miner.
Just down the road, local activists were working with staff at Vermont Housing Finance Agency to preserve King Street as a working-class neighborhood. From 1980 to 2000, the King Street Neighborhood Revitalization Project rehabbed, redeveloped, or preserved more than 270 apartments as perpetually affordable housing. This project also brought the headquarters of several influential nonprofits to King Street, including VHFA, King Street Youth Center, and the Champlain Housing Trust. Amongst the affordable housing developments is a project known as the Chicken Bone Housing Limited Partnership, named after the previous tenant of the current French Alliance. While it's been affordable housing since 1996, the Chicken Bone was once the rowdy towny bar for King Street residents for 20 plus years. While there are likely countless untold stories half forgotten from the reign of the Chicken Bone, all are overshadowed by its demise. In 1991, the owner was arrested in connection to an international drug operation after a 6,400-pound shipment of hashish was seized in Boston Harbor. It had got there by way of Vermont, through Canada, originally from Pakistan. The owner was ultimately arrested, and the Bone closed in 1993. 20 years later, the owner would go on to open waterworks in Winooski, and weed would be legal in all places mentioned, except Pakistan. While the Bone was still thriving, the last piece of modern King Street came into its own, the waterfront. While the port had helped create Burlington, by the 1980s it had declined economically and instead become a vector for pollution and public disdain. Following a landmark 1989 decision known as the Public Trust Doctrine, the Sanders administration began the process of removing 90-plus oil tanks from the waterfront, beginning the transformation of the industrial waterfront into the modern public park that we know it as today. And although the port, and the ravine, and the milk plant, and the band, and the ice cream factory, and countless squirrels and people might be gone, their stories persist on King Street. And although King Street is somewhat unique, this is just one street with countless untold stories, many I've found buried right beneath the surface. If curiosity about mundanity can help quell your existential dread like it did for me, why not start digging? Who knows what you might find? Just be careful not to fall in. Oh, one last thing. Periwinkles is